Howdy y'all, welcome to another video. I am TheologyMatters, you can call me Eli, and I am also The Anomaly. So I'm a 23-year-old white guy coming to you live from Oklahoma. Well, not really live, but you get the drift. So anyways, thank you all for the 600 or so of you who watched my last video. I was very happy with that because I only have about 30 of y'all, and I appreciate the 9 others of you who joined. Thank you for doing that. Yeah, I kept watching those analytics for like an entire week. It was great. So anyways, we're gonna get into the new video. We have weird things going on. So in MAGA, we have a fun day happening because Donald Trump, the future president, the future past, the former future, that's just weird. Future former president, Donald Trump has appointed Marco Rubio to the Secretary of State. So just like Hillary Clinton, someone died. No, I'm joking. I hope not. No, I'm joking. So anyway, Rubio has accepted the position. However, he still needs to be confirmed from the Senate, but more than likely, given that the Senate is run by the Republicans right now, it will happen. Now, funny thing though, so looking at his little resume over here with the Ballotopedia, weird thing about him taking the Senate seat is now, leaving his Senate seat to be the Secretary of State. His Senate seat is now up because he's still got 4 more years on his term. MAGA, not Trump, MAGA, a lot of MAGA people, they have found, because Governor DeSantis has to appoint someone else now to take the senatorship at least until 2026. And that's when a special election would be called, and then the 2 other next years would then be decided on whoever wins the election, the special election. Now, here's what's interesting. MAGA thinks that they have the perfect candidate, and obviously, if you look at the title, I'm very much going to say, no. They want to bring in Lara Trump, the current RNC chair, to the Senate. Yay. So, yeah, this is having some divisions. But a lot of people have been campaigning for it. There's the Florida rep, Luna, or I'm sorry, that was a nickname, Anna Luna. Then you also have Katie Britt from Alabama. She was saying that she'd be great up there. We can see who. Sorry, current past 50. Good grief, what is wrong with you? There we are. Sorry. Old video. I've done this a couple times. So anyways, that was weird. That must be the mouse. Anyways, so she was saying that Lara Trump would be good and that DeSantis needs to bring her in. She says in a video that I will show, she'd love to consider to take the seat if she was asked. That is the video, but I'm going to show it in a different thing. DeSantis, though, has said that he is not going to be choosing it just yet. He's going to wait until January. But MAGA is still pushing for Lara, even though, DeSantis hasn't said yay or nay. He's currently vetting people. So anyways, let's watch the video. So the video that she said on Fox News, which I don't think is a horrible vid that she did, or the interview or answer. The answer is still vague enough that she doesn't look needy in this video. Let's put it that way. So I'll show that.
Serve in this role has really been the honor of a lifetime. Likewise, if I am able to serve, I would love to serve the people of Florida. This is my home state now and has been for 3 years. This is where Eric and I live.
Remember that.
And truly to have that opportunity, I think would be incredible. No one knows better than I do the America First agenda or the goals of Donald Trump in the coming 4 years. So if I am asked, I would love to consider it, but I have yet to have a conversation with Governor DeSantis, so we will have to see.
And she probably never will. And I really love though the one that she gave though. She stated, no one knows the goals of Donald Trump. That's great. You're in the senator. You're supposed to represent your constituents, not your father-in-law. It just sorry, I don't mean to be so it's late, but that's no excuse. But you have to like I don't think people understand like there is a point of constituents, right? Those don't just fly away. And this is why I say MAGA is treating it like nothing. It's like there's actual points into this. And she basically said like no one knows the better. Yeah. But you're supposed to protect Florida. That means maybe even going against her father-in-law, which, if she did go against her father-in-law, good. Or no, bad. Yeah, she would stand with her father-in-law. It makes her a great daughter. Makes her a horrible senator, though. So anyway, so this has renewed kind of, the DeSantis Trump fight, which I don't care. I don't I don't care enough. So anyway, but we're gonna go through the 5 reasons. There are 5 reasons that I have stated, and I also have reasonings that DeSantis needs to qualities that I think he needs to pick if he's vetting currently. He needs to be thinking of. Now I got 2 disclaimers. So one, she said she would consider it. So that obviously leaves it to, well, she's not actually taking it and she's not actually considering it. So if that, fails, or if that's succeeds, let's say she does take the job, then everything I'm about to say right now is fine. Anything I'm not saying, or if she doesn't, then this is more about MAGA and everything that they're thinking of, and how how about y'all kind of put a brain on, because we'll get into it, but another Trump. So a disclaimer: I wasn't with Trump nor DeSantis in the primaries. I'm not even with MAGA. I'm just I'm a nuclear conservative, because I can't even say conservative anymore, because conservatives are now kind of whatever you want to call a conservative. So, but yeah, I would think I'm very impartial, and definitely since it's a senator, it is a federal position, meaning that, the 50 states are gathering. So I do think I am warranted at least a word, but probably not the only words either. And my words are maybe more as counsel than they would be of direction. So anyways, so first, Lara Trump, giving some little background. She's a 42-year-old female daughter-in-law to the President Trump's son, Eric Trump, since 2014. She's a mother of a 7 and 5-year-old. Remember that point. She currently lives in the Palm County since 2021. She's been a Florida resident for more than 3 years. That she just literally said, which bear that mind into. And she's the current RNC co-chair since March of 2024, this year. Also remember that. So, first reason that she shouldn't be having it. So we're getting into the reasons now. The first reason that I would say she does not deserve to be a senator is the fact that she has not been elected. And I understand that sounds really basic, right? But she hasn't been elected from anyone ever. And so putting her in a public position where normally everyone votes on her is kind of throwing the middle finger to Floridians, or the people of Florida. I may be butchering that, so I'm just going to say that. Sorry. Because they haven't said whether or not they want them. Now, true, some of MAGA people probably want her, and those Florida people are talking. But I do think it is intriguing that they want that, but there is a reasoning that I am curious, though, is because we were making fun of Kamala Harris for taking over for Joe Biden. Joe Biden, because he was old, senile, and couldn't run, but for some reason he can still be president for the remainder of his term. Kamala steps in and usurps the Democratic or the Republic policy, or I guess Democratic part of the primary system for the Democrats, and she just became the nominee. There was no one voted for her. She just, well, people voted for her. Let's be clear. People voted for her, but you were not going to be voting for her. I was never going to be anywhere near, not even because I'm a Republican, just because of the fact that was not made in the public eye. But it's like we were making fun of Kamala for that, and now it's kind of like we're putting her in office because she can. And I understand, part of that, DeSantis has to choose someone, so I kind of understand it, but at the same time, um, you know, in the qualities that I'm gonna say, I don't think that she being put in is exactly the best option. Um, and yeah, that's practically it for number one. So she hasn't been elected. Second one, she just took the RNC job. And I mean just took it. She's been in it less than a year. You're still a noob. She's been in it for 8 to 9 months. If you're saying now that you want the senatorship, the only thing that I would say is, well, this is political advancement. She wants to be a senator, and then she's gonna go more. So I wouldn't say that she wants to be president, because well, we were making fun of Trump blocking Hillary and Kamala, the only women candidates out of the Oval Office. And gosh, I am itchy. Okay. Anyways, but like my question has to be like, what does she want? Because she has the RNC job right now. So my question would be, what does she actually want? Because if she didn't want the RNC job, because now she's leaving to be a senator, my question is, does she actually want to be a senator too? And so that honestly would be Florida's concerns is, are you going to have another senator? Right. So because to me, and this goes into number 3, if she really wants to be a politician, she would. Like, if she really wanted to run and be a senator, then she could have. But she's been in the background of her father-in-law since, day one. And so, you know, I'm like, if you wanted to be a senator, you could have been a senator. You can campaign, which, she doesn't have to do this time around, which is why we lead into number 4. It's free. She doesn't have to fight in a primary. She's just chosen, and then that's it. That's it. Gosh. Oh, I don't know what is itchy in my nose. Sorry. Anyways, because the term is until 2028, so she's gonna do it for 2 years and then just bail 2 years later. I don't think that bodes. I wouldn't even say bodes well for Florida. I'm just saying for Floridans, it's like, are y'all going to accept the fact that she's basically treating y'all as pawns in her own game? There is no, I want to serve y'all. It's, I want to serve my father-in-law now. And I don't think that's the right attitude to start the campaign, and I don't think that's the right attitude for any politician, especially since she hasn't been elected. Girl. I know what is wrong. So, anyways, yeah, I'm redoing this after another one. So if this is if this is glitchy, y'all are not gonna see this, and if it ain't, then I'm gonna be really sad because future Eli is gonna be having to post this video. But anyway, so we're still in. It's free. The job is free. She doesn't have to fight for the primary because the term is until 2028. So there'll be an election in 2026 for the special election, but she'll be taking it now. Now, if she really wants to be a senator, which I still don't think she should be a senator, but even if she agrees to be a senator, she needs to agree to do the primary in 2026, because she basically is just running away from the people of Florida. because now she gets primaried, because she will be primaried. More than likely, she'll be primaried. Like, for crying out loud, her father was, or her father-in-law was, primaried like not long ago. So I would say that is number 4. Now we get to number 5, and it's her last name. So yeah, I kind of do agree with a bit of the nepotism parts, because she's not Trump. Like, she's not Donald Trump. Let me repeat that. She's not. She may be a Trump, but she's not the Trump. She's not her father-in-law, and picking her because of her last name is not exactly a quality to write. Like, because if that's the first thing that you have to say is that, well, she's the daughter-in-law to Donald Trump, the former future president, that's not a reason to vote for her. If anything, that's a major fact. If that's your first thing to sell me on her, is that, then yeah, she probably shouldn't be where she is. So yeah. So anyways, so those were the 5 reasons. 5 reasons she has not been elected. She just took the job, so she has recent employment. If she really wanted to be a politician, she could have, but she's not. Like, for crying out loud, I'm 23 and I'm deciding to be a politician. She can make the decision. She's got 2 decades on me almost. I think if she wanted to be a politician, she would have done it earlier. And let's be fair, she probably has the capital. She's been with Eric for about 10 years. So I think if she wanted to be a politician, she could have. So the 5 reasons, yeah, for the not elected, hasn't been elected, took a recent RNC job. If she wanted to be a politician, she would have. It's a free job because she doesn't have to work other than the job, right? And then her last name of nepotism. And then a bonus is that she's a woman. And I say that not because I'm sexist, but because, if anything, I'm trying to be I don't know, the reverse, I guess. Because I will say, like, yeah, I typically don't vote for women candidates purely because it's like, this is the guy's arena. But I think it's the one thing that I think is a good, like, that's a whole different other discussion that we're bringing up of the women in politics and women just, like, kind of in the workforce, right? For reasons besides necessity, right? Because there's a lot of women who have taken jobs that probably don't need to be working, but they want to work, and then they have a kid, they have the family to appease grandma and grandpa, and then put them in daycare because they're too lazy to actually, have kids. And the reason I'm in that trade is because of this. It's funny because I think this was oh no, it's from her. Yeah. She says her unique experience as a young mother would provide a valuable voice. Yeah, with all due respect, how can you bring a unique perspective of being a mother if you're not a mother to your children now? Like, I'm like, I don't know the family situation right, but like, if she's gonna be a senator, she's gonna be all the way in Washington D.C. Her family's more than likely gonna be in Florida, right? And I'm just like, if that be the case, how are you gonna be? Yeah, your unique perspective. Yeah, I'm not a mother. Is the perspective? I'm classified as a young mother, but I don't be with my children. Um, excuse me, which I just think is just, you know, I hate to do, like, I hate to say, like, she used her kids as pawns. Because, like, even with myself, I have a rule, like, I'm not going to bring my wife into any of this. Like, I might talk about them, but I think that's different, but I'd be very conservative on what I'm mentioning. But there is one thing that I'd say about, like, ads. Like, I wouldn't be using my wife as like a tool for campaigning, because I don't want her to get thrown into the mix with all the hell, right? Like, you're voting for me, you're not voting for my wife, so leave her alone. Same with my kids. Like as I wrote in a tweet one time, and it was, my wife is only there to prove that I'm married, and then I'm a heterosexual, and then my children are there to prove that I'm fertile. That's it. There is nothing. Yeah, there. Sorry, I'm remembering my sister-in-law laughed at that one. But yeah, it's true. It's like, yeah, I'm fertile. Like that's the only reason I have kids. Other than, oh, well, I guess I'm a father, but that's kind of synonymous with, fertile. So it takes an extra step. So but anyway, so that was all the reasons and bonus. So now we're getting into, though, who DeSantis should choose. DeSantis does have people that he could choose from. I know his chief of staff has been talked about, the lieutenant governor that he has. I saw people who talked about maybe that he would do it himself. I don't know. I would doubt it'd be himself. But who should he choose? Well, he definitely should choose someone that is from Florida. And by from Florida, I mean birth, maybe from Florida, and or very much of a naturalized Floridan. I don't think, because she's been there for 3 years, I don't think that's long enough. Because, like, for crying out loud, if that be the case, then I was a Stillwater resident, even though I was there just for college, and I was only in the boundaries, give or take, of the OSU campus. That does not make me a representative of the Stillwater, right? So I think you need to have more time before she does that. The second one I do is a highly conservative guy, and DeSantis looks like he's gonna bring in someone like that. So that's very good, and I would suspect that from him. I know his campaign when he was running for president was kind of weird, but I do think that but in the state-wise, he was, I think, doing some good stuff. But I would definitely say the willingness to say no to Trump. And I say that because, you know, as I mentioned earlier, it's like, what if she, as Florida's representative, will she defend her constituents or her father? And because if she defends her father, aids her father and not her constituents, she's a great daughter-in-law and a horrible senator, which is the best alternative. But if she denies her father-in-law and then she fulfills her constituents, well, she's a great senator, but she's a horrible daughter. Yeah, and as I say, the first one's the best because she probably shouldn't just be in there in general. So you wouldn't have to worry about the constituents. But you're gonna have to have a willingness to say no to Trump, and like even myself, I'm like, even now, I'm practically a no one. But even me, if Trump ever said anything around the lines of, if you want my aid or anything like that, you're gonna have to do, like the 12 labors of Hercules. I'm gonna tell him to eat rocks, which not many conservatives are gonna do, because they don't have balls, and some of them, and not because they're women, but because they're weak, to put it mildly. So, and then the last point I would say, if he's going to choose anyone, I would definitely say he needs to choose either a former state or federal senator or rep. Even like a former governor would work, like not Rick Scott, because he's already there. But definitely like some former governor, maybe, or maybe former lieutenant governor, right? And I would definitely say, if whoever he picks, he needs to ask them, will they be running in 2026? And if they're not going to be running in 2026, then he needs to tell them, well, there's the door. Because they need to run. If they want to be a senator now, they need to be a senator later as well. And I understand that they may not win that primary, but they still need to try the primary. Because if you want to be a senator, then now's your time. And DeSantis needs to pick a senator, and especially one who isn't just going to do it because now it's free, and then 2 years later just scoff at the primary and then run. He needs someone who actually is going to do it. Now, I would say if he's going to choose someone new, they need to be running for the 2026. Now, if it was a former person, I think that they could do the 2 years, and then if they don't want to do the 2026, I think that's okay to drop. Like, let's say Rick Scott was in retirement and he came out of retirement for 2 years. I think that's fine. That because he was in retirement. So it's more like, I'm just here for, 20 seconds and then I'll let you all have it. Like he's more like a reserve at that point. So I would see that, but again, when I say a former state or federal representative, it's like, well, when I gave him my 5 reasons, it's like, well, he's been elected. He would be elected. It's free, but fully intending to be running again. So that one kind of dies. A different last name, right? They were a politician, and then of course, the RNC job doesn't really factor, but they were a reps and senators. So that kind of kills the second one. So anyway, so that's at least it for the main stuff, right? But now it kind of gets into the conclusion, and here is where I will say the sentence that many will probably be more angry about than everything else I've said, which is very funny because I'm very, I wouldn't say based, but like I am, but that's not the word I'm looking for. I can't think of it right now. But so as a closer, I'm definitely going to say the fact that MAGA wants to choose Lara Trump tells you the state of MAGA, because it isn't MAGA choosing conservative candidates. It's MAGA choosing Trump and Trump family. And the thing is that the Trump family is not going to be here forever. I understand, there's or let me even say, sorry, let me rephrase. Not the Trump family is going to be here forever, but Trump is not going to be here forever. And a lot of people, I think, have some weird understanding that it completely unjustified that Trump is going to be able to solve their issues in America. And I'm going to say Trump may be able to solve your issues now, but in a decade from now, you're going to have to pull your weight around someone else who may be younger, someone with a lot more spirit, and someone who's not connected to Trump, but may be emboldened by his actions that he took. But I don't think that MAGA is going to survive, because it will die with Trump. The moment Trump goes down or is and just be clear, I don't want anything bad to happen, but I'm saying if Trump goes down, if he finishes his term, then MAGA is going to break up into pieces. And then, of course, what will MAGA stand for? Make America great again. Great in what? So, late. It's late and I'm grogging out. But I definitely would say MAGA, if you really wanted, if you really want Laura Trump, then you're gonna have to come up with some better reasons than just, well, she did the election integrity or she did the RNC. She needs something more to her resume, other than the fact that she is, part of the Trump family. And I definitely think with MAGA, if you're going to be pushing someone from the Trump family, my question has to go, when will you not choose someone? Because like Carrie Lake, because I think in Arizona, a lot of people were saying Carrie Lake lost in the senator race purely because some people just don't like Carrie Lake. And honestly, from Oklahoma. I don't like Carrie Lake. Something's fishy about her. I feel it. I feel it in my gut. And if you're an Oklahoman, you probably know this. I think it's Oklahoman, but it could be something else. Yeah, I don't know, but it's like, as an Oklahoman, I just have like a gut feeling, and my gut, when it talks to me, it tends to speak truth. And when I see Carrie Lake, something just there, my gut twists and it goes, like there's something wrong. And I've done that, and occasionally it's happened where just something feels wrong. And then, of course, and I think sometimes I've been vindicated, and sometimes it's just like something's weary, and I'm just keeping an eye on you now. Um, but yeah, it's just, Carrie Lake got it because Trump endorsed her, and then everyone flocked towards her purely because Trump said, well, I like her. But that necessarily isn't the good reason. Trump could endorse someone who is not the great candidate. Like, even with myself, like, because I obviously am going, if Trump ever was to, endorse, let's say there was me and another dude, and I said, Trump told me, well, you're going to have to do X. I'm going to tell him, well, you're going to eat rocks. And he got the other guy. Well, it's the only reason the other guy is now winning is because MAGA flocked to the other guy. But the thing is the other guy doesn't have the same morals and characters as I would. And I'm not saying that I'm a great saint. I'm working on it. But I would say that just because he chooses someone may not be because it's the right reasons. And I think MAGA, you need to take a watch and make sure that you're not just being lambs to the slaughter. And make sure that you actually see, because I used to game from that a little bit. I used to think Trump was good, and then after 2020, it was like, and I also became very much more Catholic at the end of it. So, well, I became more Catholic in the next 4 years. So, anyways, so I think that's really it. 5 reasons. Went through the qualifications when we did closer. So we're good. So thank you all for watching. There are links in the bottom for my YouTube YouTube. But hit the big red subscribe button for me if you could. That helps me a lot, because that tells me, 1, people are listening, and 2, if ever I go do anything, this is for like a full-time creative, because that's currently what I'm doing for at least a year. Thank you all for helping me there. Because, and I say for a year because I should be running for office, which is kind of the whole thing. If y'all catch up, I did some video where I talked about that was the anomaly. Excuse me. So, but I got a merch down below. I've got an Insta to follow. I've got a Twitter. Yeah, Twitter. I'm more involved on Twitter than I will be on the Insta. So just FYI. And then there's technically the Rumble. So, I think that's it. Went through reasons. Yeah, so we're good. So thank you all for watching. Thank you all for the new guys who came on board. Thank you all for those who watched my other video. And of course, have a good day. And remember, a better world is only accomplishable by better people. Peace.